Okay, so let's do some Tai Chi. Bring your feet together in the center. Bring your head top up to the highest point. Relax your shoulders. Relax your tailbone. And then pushing from your feet up through the center as if your body is connected as just one piece, stretching out. Take a deep breath with your shoulders and elbows relaxed. Bring your hands together in the center. Breathe. And then internally, pull your crown all the way up. Relax your brow. Open your vision. Open your nostrils. Activate the half smile. So it's not just the two corners of the mouth. There's a little bit of your cheeks that are activated. It goes all the way up to the eyes. Connect the tongue to the upper palate. And the teeth are just setting on top of each other. They're lightly resting. When you're practicing Tai Chi with the tongue connected there, if you feel saliva, just swallow it, don't spit it out. Pull the chin back and the ears back to make the neck straight. And then relax the collarbones and this triangle here from the top of the neck to the shoulders. Hollow the chest and make a small space in the armpit and in the elbows so that the energy can travel through so that it's not pinched. Use your abdomen to support. Relax your tailbone. Let your lower back open. Internally, we're lifting at the bottom. It's coordinated with the breathing. Really allow your tailbone to relax and the insides of the hips also, so that we're not carrying tension on the inside of the legs. Forget about your knees and flex your ankles. Activate your toes and activate the tendons on the tops of your feet. And then imagine doing all of those things at once. It's only one activity. There's only one posture for Tai Chi. So starting from your feet, feel the toes, pronounce the arch on your foot. So exaggerate the arch. Allow the energy to travel from bubbling wells up through the inside. Relax your tailbone. You can bounce a little bit in place to find the base, the low point. Push the head top up. Relax, take a deep breath. And we're going to start today with a little bit of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood because I'm late in setting up my camera. And so you can see I have my fabulous slippers on here. Before we continue, anyone have questions, thoughts, comments on something that you have been working on, ideas? Let's start by stretching. Actually, let's start with some Qigong to take in a bunch of energy. So from a nice, comfortable stance, make sure that your feet are lined up and breathing deep. Inhale all the way up. Reach to make it a stretch. And then exhale, reach all the way out to the sides as well, making it a stretch. You can squat down if you like. You can stand. If you squat, make sure that your toes stay in front of your knees. You're pushing your tailbone back and keep your back straight. In fact, on this one, this is a place where you can, instead of just reaching straight, you can overstretch, arch your spine back like you're waking up in the morning, reach all the way back to make the circle larger. And coordinate the breathing, go at your own pace. Full stretch. And on the exhale, even though we're doing a full exhale, just like if you have a gas-powered car, you don't want to run out of gas. If you have a certain food that you use and it's getting low, you replace it. So the same thing with our exhales. We don't want to exhale to the point of full 99.9%. Always leave a little bit extra in there. There may be meditations, there may be exercises that do that, but that's the exception. And while we're doing this exercise, have an idea in your mind. Imagine something that you'd like to cultivate today in this class. Many people complaining about concentration and focus as an issue. So use this time to slow down and set your intention while you're doing the Qigong to improve your focus during this class. What can you get out of it for you? And how can you apply it to your life? Do one more wherever you're at. Come back to the center. Realign everything. Let your feet touch. Bring your hands together. Stretch out your neck. Stretch out your whole upper back. But keep the tailbone relaxed. Take a deep breath. Let's stretch the body a little bit more. Lock your shoulders into place and starting very small and very slow. I want you pushing up through the crown while you turn circles. And just feel where it's tight. In these first small, slow ones, we don't have to stretch. This is just an exploration of change directions if you haven't already. And so you feel one side always more tight than the other. So as if I'm pushing my head top to the corner, I'm also turning my neck was in line this way. So to stretch out all of this in the front of the neck, the back of the neck. And then come back to the center. Do a few shoulder rolls. And then change, do the other side, lock your shoulders into place. And then we're going to connect those 2 points. So when you finish with that side stretching, it feels good. Come back to the center, line everything up straight, do a few shoulder rolls. And then next, I want you to turn your chin forward towards your sternum. But I want you pushing up through the back of your neck as well. I don't want you just to flop it forward, but instead imagine the back of your head and neck like a cobra, and you're extending that up and over and tucking the chin in. And then sort of turning a little bit side to side. And then eventually rolling. So get one ear like it's in line with your collarbone, get back to the center, get to the other side, center, try the other side. If you can imagine having the extended feeling in the back of your neck the whole time, so that we're not just allowing it to be lazy, we're pushing forward. And then bring your head top back to the center. Relax. Do a few shoulder rolls. And then we're going to do more shoulder rolls. So keep your center line straight. Imagine that from your tailbone to your head top is like a post. And pull your shoulders up and over. Same long, relaxed breathing. Change directions, do some going the other way. Check to see that you have a very serious expression while you're doing shoulder rolls. Next, we're going to turn around the torso. Let's actually do something else first. Just take your hands. For this exercise, by the way, it's important that the center line is very powerful. So, because we're going to be doing this. So, don't let your body rock back and forth if you can see yourself on your camera or in the mirror reflection something. Keep your spine straight, and you can allow your hands to touch in the back. The backs of the hands hitting together like this. In the front, they're wrapping over, and we can allow them to hit as far back as they can reach, and alternate crossing. So let's do this for a little bit. I used a square step and shift between the front foot and the rear foot in the opposite direction. So I'm shifting my spine forward while my arms go back. Remember to breathe while you're doing this one. And what's the purpose of this? This exercise coming from Grandmaster Wong Sihai, the P. Wutchong. And I'm teaching this as an opportunity to loosen the spine. So if we keep the spine straight and we have all of this tissue that's sort of periphery to our center line is being pulled backwards and shifted forwards, it's as similar to if you have a post that's in the ground and you want to move. It's maybe has concrete, maybe it's in very deep, but you need to move it, so you rock it back and forth. So the spine is the post, and the shoulders and the biceps, the arms, the back, is all of the dirt and mud that's been stuck around the center of the post. So by rocking it back and forth, take a deep breath.
If that feels like it's generating too much jangly energy, what do you recommend doing?
Take a break.
Okay.
Some of these exercises are,
it feels like it's too upper body, not down enough in the legs.
Well, and that's a great segue into what we're gonna talk today about. Two things specifically. Somebody asked, what can I do to strengthen my legs? I sit in a desk all day, and I have a kind of sedentary lifestyle. When I'm not at work, I watch the TV, and I need to strengthen my legs. And I want to be able to do it while I'm, without having to go to the gym or practice a Tai Chi something. So we're going to come back and talk about that. And so Charlotte makes a very interesting idea. She said, what do we do if it feels like it's too weird of an energy? Is stop. And when something doesn't feel correct, stop to make an adjustment. And so I'm teaching this stuff because this is something for my back. I work at computers a lot and have to drive in a vehicle. So this kind of thing really works for me. But if it's everyone has and knows their own body and their own limitations. So if you have, some injury or something, only do the range that feels correct for you, right? Let's continue. And we'll come back to balancing upper body and lower body as far as talking about the legs. So take a nice comfortable stance. Pull your head top up. Again, the same thing with this. The most important is the center line, is straightening out your spine. So pulling the head top up and sinking the tailbone down. And so this activity, keep working, keep doing this exercise. See how little effort you can use to do it so the energy doesn't feel like we have to do something kind of crazy. It doesn't have to be that way. Make it the exact opposite, the yin, the ultra lightweight, the ultra soft. See how easily you can turn your spine. Keep your hips and your jawline facing forward and letting all of this soft tissue between the hips and the top of the neck turning. And then see how little effort you can use. Remember, we have the Tai Chi symbol, the yin and yang, is an abstract measurement tool. You can use it to analyze concrete subject matter. You can use it as a measuring tool, but you can use it, as we said, for abstract things. And instead of tracing it, you're putting things into that kind of category. So the same, if the energy feels too yang, it feels too fast or aggressive or powerful, we can balance it by applying the yin. So if this one feels better to do more relaxed, and if you feel your body is in good shape, you can practice a different way. Let's do just one more of those. So here, also I want you to practice the yin and yang. I want you to sink. We're going to talk about legs today. Sink into the leg and let the hands fly. So feel like you're rooted. And that if you didn't sink into that leg, that you would fly away. So we want to have as much rooting as we have up force, going upwards. So, and the other leg, if you turn it, make sure to turn the knee. You could essentially do this, just shifting back and forth. Sink into the leg. Remember to breathe deep, the same long, deep breathing we started with. And the feeling for this one is kind of a yin-yang. It feels floating up at the top, and it feels sinking at the bottom. And then relax, come back to the center. Let's do just 2 forward bends. So make your feet nice and comfortable, grip the ground, push your tailbone back, relax your spine, your head, your neck, your shoulders, let everything relax, and allow your crown chakra to point directly down towards the ground. Grip your feet and just stay here for a few seconds. See if you can relax your back to where you can feel the blood flow moving from the direction of your tailbone to your neck. So whether you feel chi, whether you feel blood, whether you feel just even the back relax at all, allow that to open. And then when you're ready, grip the whole foot, activate the entire foot, toes, and use your abdominal muscles. Try to relax your spine so that it can open and expand. And using the center, core power, breathing, pull all the way up, and then relax. Let's do one more of those. So take a comfortable stance, grip the ground, push your tailbone back and away, fold yourself in half. Really let your head and neck relax. So feel the energy going in the direction of gravity. Keep your tongue connected to the roof of the mouth. Breathing through the nose naturally. And when you feel you have some stretch, grip the ground. Use your abs and your core to center the inside of your body. so that your spine is relaxed, spine and back is relaxed. Stretch all the way up, breathing, full inflation. Relax. Next, we're just going to stretch the legs. So, taking a square step, put 1 foot forward, tailbone back and away. You can use this leg to support. Reach to stretch as far as you can, and either push your crown, the top of your head, towards your fingertips while you reach, or your chin, one or the other. But stretching the back, try to keep it straight. The further back you can sit, the deeper stretch you get. Remember to breathe while you're in this one. And then when you're ready, push off the rear foot, straighten your spine up. Take a deep breath. Let's do the other side. We're going to do one more on the other side as well. So push your tailbone back and away, straighten your spine, either looking forward or aiming the top of your head towards your reach. And then when you're ready, push off the rear foot. One more time on the other side. Actually, grip the ground, and because we're tilting forward, see if you can balance the energy inside your body. See if you can feel where you have energy up on the top. Should balance naturally. Let's try again. Grip, reach, support, looking forward or extending your crown, either way. Allow your toes to fold upwards, so the straighter you can make your foot, the better the stretch you get in the back of your leg. Breathe deep. Step forward, we'll do one more on the other side. Grip the ground, push the tailbone. Maintain deep Qigong breathing, and either looking forward or extend your crown. And then when you're ready, push off the rear foot, straighten your spine. Take a deep breath. So, the question that I have when we're talking about legs and strengthening legs, the answer that I gave is simply practicing the Tai Chi form. And one way that we can, even without having to memorize a Tai Chi form, one way that we can improve our leg strength is just with basic standing. So if you make your feet shoulder width wide and you set your lower leg here, kind of like a tent post into the ground, like you want to hammer that to root it down into the ground. And then because the lower portion is so stable, you can actually relax the tailbone. So it's almost as if my knees are forward a little bit and my tailbone is back a little bit. But you want to find this right position. And then make the spine sit directly over top of the tailbone. So even though the tailbone is relaxed, pushing the head top up, where we have this kind of thing. And so this kind of standing, even if you leave your arms at the side completely relaxed, you can put them in some type of naturally organic shape. The round shape is here. You can use some Tai Chi posture, right? You can, many different things you can do with your hands. But what I want to talk about is the legs and the leg structure and what's happening. Because when we train the legs, we want to make sure that we take care of them correctly. So we never want the knees to go in front of the toes. And so in all of these exercises, what's the point to train your legs if you train them incorrectly? If you're going to have an injury, or after 5 years you're going to have some kind of physical difficulty with the structure. And so in the exercises that we do today, I'm going to teach you something I learned at a workshop from one of Master Su's students. So if you grip the ground and you push your tailbone away, and we get into this type of squatting, is one of the basis, one of the foundations of strengthening the legs is the squat. And so in my classes, I don't teach squatting, but naturally we should be able to squat. We should just be able to comfortably and stand up from that without having injury, like some kind of difficulty. So today we're going to talk about like a traditional Kung Fu style mabu. It's like a horse stance. But we're going to use a tool, prop of the door handle as the exercise. So starting with what we just were doing, if you make your feet parallel and you push your tailbone back, root your lower legs like you're planting them into the ground so that your tailbone can relax naturally. Keep your body straight, and it's kind of has a square shape here, and we're setting that on top of this base. And then if we stand upright, that's very easy, right? We can stand there. And for people that don't have a standing practice, try it for 1 hour. Try it for as long as you can. Just by standing, if you don't have a standing practice and you don't practice Tai Chi every day, it will be challenging to stand for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And some teachers teaching longer than that. So,
Brian?
Yes.
One question. You know, when you're looking at the pictures of the masters, or I actually just saw it with you a little bit. I see it with Master Yun. When people are in this posture and they're really advanced practitioners, it almost looks like it defies physics. Like their back is behind the center line of gravity, and I don't understand. It's obviously a balanced, stable position, but I can't quite figure out how that's doable.
So I can explain it, and I can make it very clear. One of the things that I used to point out in the park, if you remember, is I would say if you see this kind of wrinkly line coming off of your pants, like if you go forward like this and you start to see, I don't know if the lighting is correct to see it, but if my knee is in front of my toe, that's a cantilever. And so what that does is it puts a lot of stress here. And this is how people injure their knees, right? Because they're not squatting correctly. They let their knee go forward. And I'm demonstrating incorrectly because I know my limits. I don't recommend doing this at home, but just to demonstrate what's happening so there's a cantilever. We can do it. The body is organic and can flex sometimes in the wrong ways. But if we keep doing this, what happens is all the weight is going here, and the knee is not designed to do that. So what the question was, how does it seem like we can be back here, like we're defying gravity? It seems like there should be what are those the surfboards with the wind sail on it? Like we can hang back and hold on to something that's out here. It's because the structure is correct. And so when I say if your knee is in front of your toes and you see these wrinkles, that's a bad sign. That means your tendon's also being stretched more than the cotton of your pants, right? But if your feet are here and you're sitting back and you see these wrinkles, right? It looks like you're defying the gravity of something, then that's correct. And that means that the fold is there. How does it happen? How does it work? The same reason the cantilever, where if the weight is over the front on the knee here, right? When I do this is that triangle here. The weight is here. If I do, and I'll use a prop this time, if I sit way back here, right? My weight is centered, and these tendons, instead of being stressed this way, they actually can relax. They can actually sit over top of the knee, and it creates a cantilever, but it's the correct one. So for those of you that don't know what a cantilever is, it's if I use a couple of objects here, I can kind of build one.
So
Go ahead.
Brian, I mean, basically, what you're, it looks like the literal physical weight, if it were just an issue of weight, would be behind that center pole. So it's the issue that if you're sending enough energy, you're offsetting the issue of weight with energy, and that's what allows the balance. Because when I see somebody whose knees are really bent and their whole body is straight and backwards, it looks like if you did some sort of calculation, you would find that their physical mass is greater behind the center line. So it's almost like a magic that they can balance that way.
No. So if you're studying with Master Zhao Yun, he talks about something. This arc here between the legs. So when you do his boggle, this kind of deep standing, there's a natural structure. The same thing is happening if I'm standing here. My center line is straight. The legs very powerful, and they're big part of the body, at least half the body, right? So if they're rooted correctly, and this is by the way what I'm talking about with leg exercise. Whatever you do, you can practice Zumba, yoga, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, nothing at all, but get into the correct position, into the correct posture. And so to continue, this is like an architectural structure. I'll try to line up parallel to the camera this way. It looks like maybe my weight would fall back there, but remember, we're not sticking our tailbone back. If my tailbone is rounded, it looks like my back is straight, but that rounded tailbone, let's see if I can get better lighting. That rounded tailbone allows the energy, instead of hitting if my butt is sticking out, instead of hitting a corner here and then zigzagging and hitting a corner here and going down, if I relax that tailbone, the energy curves and then it curves back. So it creates almost like a spring. And it requires a certain basic leg strength and tendon conditioning to begin with. This is why TC taught X-stepping all the time to beginners, is to condition their legs. So if we go back, this is, for people that remember TC when he was around, X-stepping, looks like he's floating. The same type of feeling. If I start in the center when I step back, I should be able to make this leg a Taiji shape so that it supports all the weight, and I can change on it on one leg and then walk like a cat, feel where the next step is going to be. And now this is the new base. This other foot is free to do what it wants to do. We don't have to have great leg strength, right? When I was in competition, my legs may be twice the size. But I have to do this 300 times something. So for day to day, we don't need to have bulky legs, but they should be strong. So how do we strengthen them? Practice the Tai Chi form. My teacher said the Tai Chi form can be used for anything. And I just want to clarify again, I get students, multiple people coming to me say, I have no interest in boxing. And I apologize for that because I teach a lot of boxing. That's how I came to Tai Chi. But my teacher, TC, yeah, is there a question? No. My teacher, TC, did not like boxing. He didn't like fighting. He didn't like push hands. He said it's the vibration, right? It's a bad vibe. So he only used the Tai Chi, the Kung Fu, for self-defense. His big thing was the first Chinese character he showed me is harmony, which is a wheat stalk next to and he says this represents a wheat and this represents a mouth, some kind of shoot. Eating is the most harmonious. You go to everywhere in nature, the bird is eating. The bird is eating the frog is eating the fish, something. There's harmony. He was, when he came to America, he wanted to have a restaurant to feed people. He felt that meals were where life happened. Like that's where the business deal happened. That's where the family happens, is in the meal. So my teacher had no interest in Kung Fu. It was not his thing. He wasn't an acupuncturist because, admittedly, he said he would pass out. He had the thing where if he would see blood, he couldn't see it. He did lots of massage, studied tons of acupressure, it was great. But if you pull a needle out incorrectly and you get some blood, sometimes a little drop of blood appears, can't handle it. So my teacher was not into that. But his Kung Fu was incredible. He practiced the Tai Chi form like it's a boxing art because it's self-defense. And so when you watch his form, it's not just wimpy Tai Chi. He had power, right? And he studied, trained that. But it wasn't his interest. That wasn't the thing. His real idea was that you take the Tai Chi form that we practice and you put it to use. When you have the broom, you have to defend yourself against the broom. It wants to fall over. You have gravity fighting against you. You have your own body. Oh, my injury, my back. And so if you're doing the Tai Chi form while you broom, keeping the broom to your center, do your work, everything based on the Tai Chi idea, it becomes effortless. Suddenly you're floating while you're sweeping the floor, right? Can we use cloud hands to run the broom? Instead of reaching to push here, can we just take the broom this way, switch hands, right? Step again, broom, song, turn. You hold it in one hand, switch, put the other one underneath. Turn this way, put the other one underneath, turn. You see here when I lean, it's incorrect. So the real power of the Tai Chi is not to become a great boxer. That's only for self-defense. We don't need to use that most of the time. We have to deal with the broom. So, my teacher also said you can use the Tai Chi form for anything. The same way we can use the yin and yang symbol to analyze literally anything. You can project that symbol over top of any subject, real or abstract or otherwise, and use it to see where there's balance in a situation or with objects in your own body. Well, the same way the Tai Chi form, he said you can use it for anything. So somebody came to me and they said, how do I strengthen my legs? And the first thing I thought was do the Tai Chi form. So how would we do the Tai Chi form to strengthen the legs? The answer is what we had just been talking about, is how high or low you practice the form. And this is based on everybody's own ability. When I teach this form in this class, it's fairly upright. Grasp the sparrow's tail, ward off, this kind of thing. My structure is fairly upright. There's a story, if you read some books about Tai Chi, about I believe it was the Chen family, Yong Chen Fu, either made his kids or his dad made him something, practice under the table. They would talk about having a high table, like if you ever have like a type of table that's higher, and they would have to practice under and do the form, grasp the sparrow's tail, and ward off, and step. Otherwise, if your posture's straight, if it's really straight and correct, and you bump the table, you're going to hit your crown chakra, especially if you've had your head shaved, you don't have dreadlocks to protect you from bumping on there. It's painful. So some teachers practice this way. You don't have to do this for your legs. This is like if you're building something, it's overbuilding. You don't need it for your daily use. So when you practice the Tai Chi form, if you want to strengthen your legs when you stand lower. In the Kung Fu, they have a model of horse stance, right? And some practices, some schools, they put an incense, and you stand to pass the first level. You stand while the incense burns. Can go out in 15 minutes, can go for an hour. They're supposed to be 45 minutes, something like this, right? 108 minutes, whatever it is. Different schools have different ones. You're standing like this. Unless you cultivating a martial arts path in that direction, I don't recommend to stand like that for an hour a day. You can, as training, as warm up for something. but that's a specific tendon kind of training. Let's do some Tai Chi and think about all you have to do is change, keep the head top up, the tailbone relaxed, and change the height. May take some time. You cannot practice here unless you do the training to practice something like that. So let's practice upright and use the form. Head top up, relax the shoulders, sink the tailbone. Breathe deep. And then sink as low as you want. And by the way, this is a Tai Chi principle. I like to talk about what makes Tai Chi accurate. When you start the form, once you go into Tai Chi Chi Chi, this one, whatever level that you are at is where you should practice the whole time. This is kind of an idea for like learning how to read Tai Chi. So when you see what someone else is doing. In competition, judge is going to watch where this level is. And so for beginners, it has to be maintained at the same height. When you watch Grandmaster Su, when you watch TC before he passed, they can change height, but it's not, the judge doesn't judge them because it's fully under control and you see when and why they're doing it. So, but when we're practicing, to get your concentration, your coordination, try to keep your hips. They change, they're turning, but try to keep them at the same height, the same level the whole time. Let's start again. Sorry for the interruption. Bring the head top up, relax your shoulders, tailbone. Grip your feet, take a deep breath. Square step, shoulder width wide. Tai Chi, Chi Chi. And from here, grasp the sparrow's tail. Looking forward, square step, ward off. Breathing deep, grasp the sparrow's tail. Looking forward, ward off. All one movement. This is rollback. Join the palms together. Press. Breathe deep. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. By the way, if you've decided to start practicing with the lower stance today, remember to breathe more and try to relax when you feel your legs get tense. They can do the same shape without all that tension. Turn it back north. Split, step, roll, unroll, turn, crane, heart, brush, center. Breathe deep, square step back. Bai Hu Lin Si. So Wei Pi Pa. Spine straight, looking forward. Lo Shi Ao Hu. Punch on. Lo Shi. Twist step. Press. Brush in. C step. Press. Holding the moon in the chest. I'm gonna rewind here. Bang. Lang. Shui. Bang. Lang. Shui. One more. Breathe deep. Rufong, Sibi. Turn around your spine to keep it straight. We're going to continue into the second section, but not very far. So hang in there. This is return tiger to mountain. Bring your feet together. Form a T. palm press to the center, roll back. Join the palms together, press. Push. Look left, glance right. Double breath, double press. Horizontal, split hands. The Alsho is hooked. Turn back to look at the moon. Right hand covers left hand through the center. Repulse the monkey, 1. Repulse the monkey, 2. Breathe deep. Repulse the monkey, 3. Feet together, share fade. Diagonal flying. High knees in. Sand palm bay. Turn. Block punch kick. Square step line. Waist and elbow power. Head top up, eagle hua. Shang Bu Li. Press. Push. So, Yu, Yu, Pan, Shuan. Horizontal split. Breathe deep. The Alsho, we're almost there. Hook. Side whip. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. We'll do one more hook. Corner whip, turning 90. And then bring your right foot to the left. Bring your hands together in the center. Take a deep breath. Questions, thoughts, comments so far? It looks like we have about 10 minutes left in this class. So, Tai Chi form, you can use it for anything based off the yin yang symbol, which you can also use for anything. Anytime you have an idea, and this is by the way, this is a logic idea for how to determine. There's a Zen master, Suzuki, said it's not very Zen to say, oh, we shouldn't have come to this restaurant. We should have gone to another restaurant. It's better. They have better food, or the chef has a specialty, something. In the Zen moment, you're in the moment. But sometimes we have a preference. Is it not gratitude if we make a choice? And so if you can control it, you can make a choice. It's a yin yang. If you can't control it, you become Zen and you accept your circumstance. So control what you can, avoid, make contact, and advance the word Da. So I teach those concepts for Tai Chi in boxing. Ting, Hua, Na, Da. And Ting is listen. Listening, if I have my opponent, I can see into their body, hear into their chi, and know where their weakness is, right? Or even hear their words. They may tell me something. And then, Hua, Na, Da, avoid. Can I just avoid this? Okay, great. Make contact, advance. But when I teach I used to teach at Sexy Hair quite a bit, and I missed this last round. But when I teach, they're all hairstylists, and I teach them avoid, make contact, and advance. I say, you're in the salon, you're working, and your boss comes in, and you can see they're visibly upset. That's the ting. You're listening. Oh, I see he or she is upset. Okay. So then what's the next thing you do? Avoid. Better get my tools ready for the day, right? Don't deal with them. And maybe they come after you. Hey, you, what happened why didn't somebody sweep last night? What happened? Or whatever. So you have to make contact. You can't, oh, sorry, boss, I'm going to go for a break. You have to deal with them, so you make contact. And you say, oh, so-and-so didn't advance. Is you free yourself from that situation. You say, that was so-and-so's responsibility, and I actually wasn't here, so I can't tell you what happened, whatever the case is. But you can use these principles. You don't have to use them for kung fu, for fighting. They help. The reason we teach the martial arts form is because it appeals to the most primitive part of the human mind, the monkey mind, which is, that's mine, give it to me. And how do I keep you from getting it, right? Later, we don't have any of that. We don't really have to deal with that stuff too much. But it's good to know, good to understand the principles so that we can avoid. All these movements, you can change them to what you like, but you should know how to throw a punch, something like that. Anybody have thoughts, questions, comments? If you're looking for something specifically from the Tai Chi form to strengthen your legs, imagine you have to carry a tiger up the mountain. The last posture in the first, second, and third form, one of the last postures, is from a horse stance, right? It's so the feet are wide. You may see some teachers have a means to measure or some kind of dynamic. Don't make it too wide and don't make it too narrow. Find the correct, your shoulders sitting a foot or two, your feet sitting a foot or two aside from your shoulders. And returning tiger to mountain. This is the basic squatting, right? And you can imagine carrying something. So the same way, if you work, like I said, we have people working in different fields, different trades. If you have to pick up a box, right? This is like personal safety 101. You don't want to pick the box up like this. This is all the same thing, a cantilever. My root goes down. This should look like I'm defying gravity too, right? Yes, it does, because I'm counterbalancing by pushing this back, right? And in this case, the counterbalance, instead of pushing these forward, if they're behind the knees, the energy drains straight into that tent peg that we talked about and makes your root very strong. So when your tailbone is relaxed and your knees behind the toes, then everything's lined up and you can stand like this for a very long time. The Taoists using it for meditation. Kung Fu practitioners using it for standing meditation. Return tiger to mountain, the basic squat. And by the way, if your legs are not there yet, right, we have to only train at our level, safety first. If your practice makes you worse, what good is it? So you can use doorknob. So stand comfortable distance away. You can use both hands. And when you go to sit back, like you're on the catamaran or the wind sail that has the thing, like you're holding on here, you can use this and see what it feels like. Make sure that your door handle's screwed on tight and you have the quality one. But you can use anything, any handle. Make sure it's secure enough to hold your weight and don't really rely on it. You can put something, chair, something, push it behind you. But you can get the feel for what that's like and how strong or weak your legs are by using a solid thing, even a rope, to test. And then check, is my knee, when we do Tai Chi, we want to look down if we're doing something. We should see the front half, third, or at least toes over our knee when you're looking at yourself. If not, it means the knee is too far forward. I think that's it. Let's actually close. We have just 3 minutes left. Any questions, thoughts, comments, ideas?
Great class. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Let's do some Qigong to close. So nice, comfortable stance. Really relax your tailbone. Really push your neck straight. Breathe deep. Go at your own pace. What's the difference between Qigong and yoga or Tai Chi? Qigong is very easy. You have a movement. In this case, it's an abstract stretch. Reach all the way to the top, all the way to the sides. Fully relax at the base. And then stretch out, up, out, and down. That's the movement. The other one is a breathing pattern. And here, we follow the Tao Te Ching. It says, the lungs are like a bellows. They produce infinite energy. So, we have a movement, and we have a breathing strategy. And the last one is set an intention. So, whether it's for the day, or for the weekend, or just for this exercise, set something in your mind. Something you'd like to do, some place you'd like to go, something that you'd like to experience. Even if it's none of those things, even if you'd like to experience a Zen state where you don't need to go anywhere, do anything, or see anybody. So that's a Qigong, a movement, a breathing strategy, and an intention in your mind. On the other side, change directions. It doesn't really matter where. We're going to try to balance them out on the other side. So keep that intention in your mind. What would that be like to experience that idea that you have? And when you reach the top of your breathing, let it be full. And your half smile should reflect your intention of what that experience is. Don't have a very serious expression if you get what you want. Go at your own pace. Keep the tailbone relaxed. I'm not counting, so if you're OCD, you'll have to balance them out after class. But for right now, I'm going to return back to the center. Let your hands sort of float. Feel the chi underneath. Make them so soft, so yin, so relaxed. Bring your hands together in the center. And then leave your eyes somewhere between open and closed and move your mind into the Dantian. Take a second to look inward to yourself, smile to yourself. Breathing deep. Internally, make some sound to yourself. Thank you. Some type of gratitude for yourself for being you. Smiling at yourself, take one long last deep breath. And that's the one. I will answer whatever questions via text, email, whatever. And it's actually afternoon. So that's it. See everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.